YouTube, back with another survival strategy guide for a map I've been meaning to do for a while. Seatown. Seatown overall is a pretty easy and simple map. Um, I've seen people who don't have strategy guides for this map. Basically, I've seen people who don't have an exact strategy for this map get up to wave 30 solo and or 50 co-op. But today, this guide is going to consist on 3 different parts. Not in one video, but it's going to be 3 different parts, like Resistance was. It's going to go beginner, advanced, and then final, just like we did Resistance. For today's guide, it's obviously going to be beginners. Now, if you're a beginner playing Seatown, it's pretty easy. The strat's pretty simple. There's sort of a team freeze that you could use, but it's pretty simple. Advanced, well, actually, I'm not even going to spoil advanced or final. You guys will see that when we get there. But anyways, let's get to it. This is the beginner's guide. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I will explain as best I can, and best to my ability. I'll try to explain it. I will try to explain it for the beginners to understand, not just for like the pros to understand. Okay, so when the game starts, you turn around and you run into this house right here. This is your main camping spot for the whole game. If you're a beginner, this is your main camping spot for the entire game. Don't rush the enemies. Never rush the enemies. Wait for them to come to you. Just be patient. Take them out. Also, in this guide, we're gonna consist on using some of the small bug exploits. You always want to make sure you can conserve your body armor as long as possible. Especially if your beginner is going to help you. So you don't have to keep buying more body armor. Because I know like lower level players, or lower experienced players I should say, they'll tend to use they'll tend to buy body armor a lot. What I'm doing right here is I'm just waiting for the enemies to get close together, so I could get the rampage. As you may know, rampage runs out quicker. Well, not quick. Rampage runs out. Rampage is on a time limit, unlike kill streak. Kill streak is on the if you get shot, it resets. The first few ways are pretty simple. You just kill enemies with your pistol and shotgun. Alright, after wave 2, you want to go buy 5 C4s, 5 Claymores, and the minigun sentry, which is the $3,000 one. You take this sentry gun and you place it in this window. But be advised, you're gonna have to move it on every heli wave, because the helis will go out there, but the Juggernauts and the normal enemies, they should never go after it. I mean, unless you like direct them towards it. But other than that, they should never go after it. Alright. Now, wave 3. Usually what I like to do on wave 3, at the very end of wave 3 at least, is I like to buy my care package, but right now you don't have to worry about that. What you want to do here is you want to place claymores in following spots. You're going to place one claymore right here, one claymore right here, one claymore right here. The enemies, they never come through that door for some reason. I don't know why, but they never do. And one claymore right here. And these should help out a little bit more for taking out the enemies. Once you pick up your MP5, don't use it. Save it for the helis, because that's going to be when you need them, as they're out of the reach for the shotgun on this map.
Hostiles approaching your position from multiple directions.
Knife streak. Knife streak, you don't have to worry about that. If you're a beginner, don't worry about that. It's very risky to do. Alright, once we get to the end, when we have like 1 or 2 enemies left, run out the house, but don't kill the enemies. You're gonna need to use that time to set up. Perfect. Oh, I overshot it. I know I just said don't use it, but shotgun takes too long to reload. Alright, we have this one guy left. Take this time to move this sentry gun out of the way of the helis to where they can't see it. Now you run down here. This is where your spawn trap spot will be. Right there, 1C4 right there. Take out your enemy. Then you run to this following location right here. You stand exactly right here, wait for them to spawn in, and then detonate the C4. Simple like that. Okay, at this point, you can now buy your care package. If you didn't do that on wave 3, it's up to you guys, but the earlier you buy it, the better. Once you buy your care package, or your C4, so you can already have it set there, so you don't have to come run all the way down here for wave 9, which is the first Juggernaut wave of this map. Take out your helis. Alright, now before I progress, I'm going to show you guys one of the main bugs that you're going to be using. And not just for this map, but for every single map you play. This is called the crouching method, or however you want to say it. It's when you crouch right before a heli shoots at you. That's how you dodge their bullets. So that way you don't have to run for cover every time the heli shoots, like a normal player would. You just crouch to dodge their bullets, but you have to time it. It has to be right before the heli actually shoots at you. And the best way to do that is to listen for the sound it makes right before it's about to shoot. Like similar to the sound the sentry gun makes right before it's about to shoot. Like that little whining sound it makes. As soon as you hear that, you crouch or prone and you can dodge the bullets while still shooting at it. Wave 7. This wave is going to consist of MP5 soldiers, suicide bombers, and dogs with C4. Suicide dogs, basically. You can also throw a frag grenade every so often for the campers. Got that dog. After wave 7, you buy your second sentry gun, which is going to be the grenade sentry, the grenade launcher sentry gun. This one, it stays in the house with you at all times. This one, it can help rack up money more, which is very useful, which you're going to need to rack up money. Any spare claymores left, I would recommend placing them here. Your grenade sentry, you hop on top of this table right here. It's the second table from the wall. And you angle it. You want to make sure it's able to shoot over there too. You angle it and you just place it.
Attack dogs outfitted with explosives are in your vicinity. Recommend you keep your distance. Over.
If it helps too, you can also throw C4s out here. So the sentry gun can, it can do its explosive damage on the C4s. All right. Now keep in mind, if you do that C4 trick I just used, don't detonate the C4 yourself. Let the sentry gun or an enemy destroy the C4 for you. Don't detonate the C4, because if you detonate the C4, it's gonna detonate the one that you preset for wave 9, for wave 9's trap. Alright, now being that you already have that C4 placed, you don't have to waste any time. You can just come right here and ready up. Do the same thing you did for A6. Wait for them to spawn. Detonate the C4. Any explosives you have left, come to this truck and blow it up. This is going to be your Juggernaut spot. Your Juggernaut hiding spot, to say the least. Use any leftover time to restock on explosives. When you're facing a Juggernaut and not using a jug spot, always throw a flash at him. Which is the second most effective way to kill him. Well, other than predator missiles and such. Effective cheap way to kill him. Wave 10. This wave is going to consist of soldiers with AK-47s. That's an added risk, as always, with the grenade sentry. It can harm you. It can very well kill you, too. Don't think it won't. Never underestimate the damage a grenade sentry can deal to you. Now, if you forgot to place your trap, to pre-place your trap, do the same trick we used for wave 5. Save 1 or 2 enemies, then run to go place your C4. So that way you can conserve your time. Did not mean to hit the pause button right there. It is sometimes good to get in the way to make sure your sentries don't take all the kills that you don't want them to take. Alright, same thing we did on wave 5. Save this last guy. Alright, it's fine that he died. It's fine that he died and we're that close to the spot already. So we have way more than enough time to run back. After wave 12, you can buy your first LMG. And we will get to that when we get there. Boom. Okay, now this is the first wave where we don't have, where we have more than one Juggernaut. So now I'm going to be showing you guys the route that you take for going to get on the Jug spot. First off, you always start the Jug wave right there. You run this way, you come up the ladder, wait for the Jugs, and you run like so. Run into this house like so. Stand right here. Before you hop out this window and you go this way. Before you do that, wait for the Jugs to get closer. Because if you hop out too early, it's going to make them go all the way over there. It's going to make them come down those stairs right there. Or over there at least. So wait till they get closer. So that way they'll go down those stairs that's right there. And they'll come out this house and go this way. This is the way you lead them on to the, where you lead them to the truck. While you go prone on the truck. You go to the edge right here. You go to the edge to make them stand in that area. They can glitch on top of the truck like he just did right there. So before they do that, you want to make sure you always throw a flash grenade before they can actually get the chance to do that. And now that they're flashed, they're not going to be able to glitch on the truck anymore. And you just take advantage of that and slaughter them. Okay. Now we're taking advantage of one of the best exploits you could say. And that is the movement of the Rifle Jug, how slow he runs, what walks. Now the trick we're using here, as if you guys remember the terminal vid, is the single C4 trick where you place 2 C4 directly on top of each other. That is being so that you place a claymore and the first enemies that spawn. The claymore will take out the first enemies that spawn. The C4 will take out the rest. Being that the C4 are stacked on top of each other, no explosive will destroy it. See, I'm gonna throw a frag grenade here, and it didn't blow up the C4. Now I'm gonna do that with a normal C4, and as you would expect, it blows up. Not even an airstrike will destroy that C4. And I can prove it to you guys right now, and I will. I'm just gonna run far enough away for this guy so he doesn't get killed by it. Throw an airstrike right on it. And watch what happens. Although most of those hit the building, you can see right here that it struck it. I'm not sure why it's like that, but it is, and it's really useful. It's one of the best explorers of the game, to be honest, because it makes spawn traps so much more better. Because if you think about it, the Claymore will go right here. It will kill the first enemies that spawn. The C4 will take out the rest of them, which makes it all the more effective for a better spawn trap. Alright, but we're on wave 12, and at this point you can buy your first LMG. It could be any of the 5 LMGs that you want. But for this spot, you want to make sure you have a fast reloader. And for a fast reloader, I would recommend the LA6 with red dot and grip. Now for the rifle drug, he's pretty easy to take out. Just throw a flash. Let's try that again. Throw a flash. Okay, I'm just horrible at this game. Well, being that it's a low wave, and it just rush your jug, you don't have to go back to the truck. But that's optional. If you feel safer going back to the truck to take out the jug, then do that. Okay, so wave 13, this wave is going to consist of suicide bombers, AK-47 soldiers, and chemical agents. So you can place your claymores again. This will definitely help because the chemical agents are very annoying to deal with.
Team, chemical agents have been detected in your area.
Alright, let's see, that wave was very flawless. This is how easy it is, guys. Don't make survival mode harder than it has to be, because it is truly very easy, a very easy mode. I mean, like, yeah, I understand some maps are very hard. Like, I understand Bakara is hard. I understand that, Downturn is hard, but don't make easy maps harder than they need to be when they're truly easy. All it consists of is just a good strategy. It's not hard to come up with a good strategy. Alright, now we're gonna try to conserve these 30 seconds because the sentry gun killed the last guy before I wanted him to. I'm not gonna lie, we're probably not gonna be able to save the minigun sentry. But that's fine. One of the hardest things to do in the game is conserve your 30 seconds. But we can try to be able to move it. But I'm not sure we're gonna be able to have time to do so.
Intel shows multiple enemy rotor wings in your airspace. Team, chemical agents have been detected in your area.
Okay, we actually succeeded. It's not always worth it to do that, but being that it's an early wave, I just didn't want to spend extra money having to buy a new one. So just took the risk and saved the sentry gun. Okay, if you have an enemy that's not moving like that, most likely they're in the last stand. So you can also save time with helicopters, because I'm pretty sure this guy's in the last. He wasn't in the last stand. He might have just been placing claymores all over the place. Well, chemical claymores all over the place. Now, if you're wondering why we're not placing a claymore right here, it's because the enemies are going to spawn right there, and it's going to make the claymore detonate. So no matter what, we're going to have to come there and place the claymore. Now, if you want to, after wave 15, you can get your second LMG. If you already have a fast reloader, you can either get two fast reloaders, which are the last two LMGs, or you can get a fast loader and a slow loader. What I mean by that is the fast loader is more for the normal waves, and the slow loaders are more for helis and jugs. The M60 is the best LMG because it does the most amount of damage than all the other all the other four of its companions. But it depends, because sometimes the MK46 could be good to use, but the M60, it can carry you to wave 100 for quicker damage, because it packs a punch. It does a lot of damage. But it's up to you guys. It's whatever you decide to choose. And if you're wondering why I'm skipping over this gun, it's because it does the least amount of damage of all the LMGs. Well, technically the LA6, it does less damage, but the LA6 shoots faster. The PKP shoots way slower and does less damage than the other two slow loaders. So the PKP is out of the picture. So it's between the MK46 and the M60E4. But for this map, I always prefer the M60. But being that I'm using a different strategy, I'm going to go for the MK46. Alright, then we take out the heli. After this wave, you're going to want to move your sentry gun into the building with you. The minigun sentry. You move the minigun sentry into the building with you. Now, you could place it behind the grenade sentry, but if you do that, be warned that the enemies can have a better line of sight on it. But if you place it right here, it's also not going to be able to shoot, so it's kind of hard to win in that situation.
Be advised, large enemy force inbound. Recommend you get dug in. Over.
Wave 16. This wave consists of ACR soldiers. 16 through 21 consist of ACR soldiers. After 21, it's the infamous FAD soldiers with the Claymore experts.
Team, be advised, intel shows enemy strong points near your position.
That was awesome. Okay, wave 17. The next drug wave would be wave 18. Do the trick. Save one enemy so you can have time to set up. Or if that happens, that's fine because you're gonna be closer. If you run out in time, you're obviously gonna be closer. You're gonna be closer to where the trap spot is, so you're gonna have more time to be able to run back. Alright. Same as always. Okay, and next drug wave will be wave 21, which will also be the last wave that we use this trap spot, that we start from this spot to detonate the traps. Okay, same as wave 12, run this route. Alright. Wait for the jugs. After wave 20, you can start using your riot teams. Or if you want to save money and not keep spending money on riot teams, you can wait a little later. You can wait till like 30 or 40 to actually start using riot teams. Alright. Last wave that we start the trap spot. Last wave that we detonate traps from that spot. Okay, wave 19. 19 or 20. This wave consists of ACR soldiers, suicide bombers, and chemical agents. And
Be aware, tangos reported to have C4 strapped to their chests.
I was trying to listen for dogs. Okay, the dogs have stopped spawning. From this point on, there will be no more dogs on normal waves. Alright, that wave is pretty flawless. If you really want to make things easier for yourself without having to use a riot team, airstrikes are really good for this spot. Like they're really good. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why, because it's a pretty open area where the enemies camp out at. So always take advantage of that. If you have a camping spot where the enemies are out in the open, take advantage of the airstrikes. Same as always. Get your one claymore right here.
Hostiles neutralized. Rearm if you need to.
Vice versa.
Be advised, heavily armored ground forces are being
Ooh,
deployed.
that shot was really good too. Almost killed all the enemies.
Explosives are in your vicinity. Recommend you keep
And
your
mind you, that
distance.
was just one spot. It gets a bit more complex when there's 3 jugs. But overall, it's the exact same thing. Okay, usually when there's more enemies alive, you're not going to run that early, so that jug down there isn't going to turn around like that. It's just being that there's no enemies, you don't have nothing to wait for. Alright, now for wave 21, this is where you're going to have to do your big setup, so you're going to want to save the rifle jug. Well, I say big setup, but this is one where you're going to want to make sure you have everything that you possibly need. Like how right now I have no C4s and no flash or frags. This is when I want to use the time to get more. Okay, so from this point on, they're going to start spawning in 2 spots. So what you do is, wave 23, you place a claymore right here. That's the second spot they spawn in. And you don't have to worry about placing more C4s in this. You don't have to worry about placing more claymores in this spot. All this spot needs now is just C4s. Because their spawns have officially changed now. Because there are more enemies. Like I said, it's very optional to go back to the truck to kill the rifle jug on a low wave. Taking them out is pretty easy as he has low health.
That's the last of them. Good job.
Okay. Now, this is where it gets a little more complex because there are FAD soldiers. Now, you can still feel very free. If you have extra claymores left over, just save them. Feel very free to place claymores around your surrounding area. Because the FAD soldiers are the most ruthless of all the enemies. Never underestimate these guys. They can quickly overwhelm you, like very quickly. Never underestimate them. Alright, flawless. Wave 23, 49,000. For beginners, that's very good.
Team, be advised. Intel shows enemy strong points near your position.
Alright. Getting close to the end of this wave. Haven't lost the self-revive yet. Haven't gotten overwhelmed yet. Sentry guns are really helping out. Alright, save enemy as always. To have time to go place your C4. I mean your claymores. I always get the words mixed up. Feel free to go buy ammo when you know that you need it. Okay, now, as I said, wave 21 is the last wave that we start right here. Now where you start at, you start literally from the campus spot. But you have to start exactly right here. From the spawn in the correct places. Perfect. Now after you detonate the traps, you stand right here for the dogs. Only on heli waves though. When you detonate the traps on jug waves, you have to run over to the jug spot where you stay at. But you stand right here for dogs because for some reason they won't attack you. I don't know why. Now from this point on, you can use this window to kill the helis, as it's a very good spot to kill them from. Okay. Now, save your one heli. I recommend weakening them. Okay, so for jug waves, and jug waves only, is when you're gonna want to place your stacked C4 in here, because a lot of enemies spawn on the jug waves, so that means a lot of enemies respawn. For here, you can do your traditional one. Airstrike, because on the wave after heli, the two waves that come after after you complete your heli wave, a lot of enemies come with them. That tells you that jug waves are approaching. It'll be anywhere from like 18 to 23 enemies on this one wave. So you can, obviously you can place your claymores around, and you can wait. You can wait for them to pile up to throw your airstrike. Don't have your airstrike already out. Like, don't be holding out like this, waiting for the enemies. If then they can overwhelm you like that. You want to have your gun out, and wait for them like that. Wait for them while you're shooting them. And once you know that you're there where you want them at, you can throw your airstrike. Always throw a flash grenade right after you throw an airstrike to keep the enemies in place. Easy like that. Very effective airstrike. I highly would not recommend going past wave 40 with this spot with no teams, because at that point it starts to get difficult without teams.
Enemy contacts approaching your position. Enemy forces are setting explosive traps.
If you wanted to go buy an airstrike, another airstrike before the wave starts, feel free to do that. But that was just to show you guys how good airstrikes are for this spot. Very flawless. All right. I'm glad he died because I really want that rampage. As you can see, we're quickly closing in on hitting $100,000. Alright. Now, this is where it kind of gets tricky. Because now there's armored juggernauts. So same as wave 24. Detonator traps. Don't worry if it seems like the traps didn't do much, because trust me, they really did do much. That's just how many enemies spawn on drug waves. It may be good to have a team with you and to place claymores around your backside area, because the enemies can quickly overwhelm you. Never stay for too long, because the dogs can also grab onto you. The dogs can literally like get on top of you while you're on the ladder. It's happened to me before, and I've died like that before. If you watch my wave 219 game on this map, that's exactly how it ended, because that is what happened. Alright, so basically now, for these drug waves, when you have a lot of enemies alive, you never run to the truck when you have multiple enemies alive. When you have multiple enemies alive, you run to the right side of the trash can of that dumpster. You run past the air support, you go towards the equipment armor. You basically do a loop around the map over and over again until there's no enemies left but the jugs. Alright, like before, take advantage of this. Take advantage of this extra time I'm given. By wave 33, you can start placing 2 C4 right here. But for 29, 27, and 30, 1 C4 would do the trick to kill all the enemies right there. This would honestly be the last wave where I don't use the truck to kill this guy.
All hostile forces in the area have been neutralized.
Now, for the 2 waves after jugs, there's gonna be way less, like far less enemies. That'll tell you when a heli wave is approaching, because way less enemies spawn on heli waves.
Enemy forces inbound. Get ready.
Sorry guys, I hit the pause button by accident again. As you guys can see, the sentry guns played a big part in helping me get the kill streaks. And as you can also see by the kills, how many less enemies there are on the 2 waves before your heavy wave. How the 2 waves before jugs, there were like 20 enemies, and just now there are only 12 enemies. Alright. And we've officially hit $100,000.
Hostiles neutralized. Rearm if you need to.
As you can see, I'm explaining less now because by this point, I've pretty much explained the entire guide.
Intel shows multiple enemy war wings in your airspace. Enemy attack dogs near your position. Be advised, they are carrying explosives.
Oh, that's a dog. I thought that was a normal enemy. The last and final part I will be explaining is teams. Alright? Now, I know I said there's not really a team freeze for this map, but what you can do is you can block off their outside path because they can go out here and get killed very easily. So you destroy one sentry gun right here, and that's all you need. That's it, literally. That's it. Okay, and by your right team. Also, always make sure you have frag grenades, so you can move the team, like, so you can basically position the team back the way you want them. Like you can push them, like you can scare them into going to the back of the house, and they'll be a lot safer. But the catch to that is, because I already know there's gonna be people who make this mistake after destroying that sentry inverter. Do not call them in so they spawn over here. Call them in so they spawn over here. And what I'm just doing now is going to buy my sentry back because I had to destroy it. Take out the heli before it can get the chance to even shoot the team. And then you run into the house and you wait for your team to get close. But honestly, being from the direction that they're coming from, they should already be in perfect position. Alright. Perfect. Exactly where you... Well, I don't know about you guys, but that's exactly where I would want them. And they can't rush outside to get themselves killed. I could definitely get to 100 with this strategy. And I know you guys can too. Only downside is the sentry guns can do damage to them. But once you get to a high enough wave, their health is going to increase, so that shouldn't really matter. I was unaware of there being a quote above like that, but that's fine too. I wouldn't really worry about that. The reason I'm not readying up is because I'm waiting for this guy to come back down so he can help. The guy upstairs probably can die on this wave. He's definitely gonna die on this wave because he doesn't have a shield anymore. Unless that grenade scares him, which it did. Yep. Either way though, the team still play a big part in helping. I'm honestly shocked I didn't die just now when that guy FAD with me. Okay, well guys, basically other than the other than the teams, that was the last thing I had to explain. That's pretty much the strategy, the entire strategy. The rest of the video will just be ASMR to get into wave 40 to show if it is possible to get to a pretty high wave with this strategy. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and it will end our suicide on wave 40. I will no longer be talking from this point on.
They're done. Good work, gentlemen. Be advised, large enemy force inbound. Recommend you get dug in. Over. Противник на юге! Hostiles neutralized. Rearm if you need to. Team, be advised, intel shows enemy strongpoints near your position. У нас потери! Поддержка пути, 15 минут! Противник на сейчас! That's all of them. Nice work, team. Team, enemy air support is heading from all directions. Find cover. Enemy attack dogs near your position. Be advised, they are carrying explosives. They're falling back. Check equipment and ammo. Team, chemical agents have been detected in your area. Be advised, enemy claymores near your position. inbound. Be advised, enemy claymores near your position. They're falling back. Check equipment and ammo. Be advised, They're done. Good work, gentlemen. Riot team will be on station in 30 seconds. FLIR is picking up heat signatures headed your way. Over.
Перехожу на другую позицию!
That's all of them. Nice work, team. Not bad, but I've seen better.